Good morning, good morning, good morning. Happy Friday. Happy freaking Friday. I hope that everyone has had a great week so far. And you're having a great start to your Friday morning as we head into the weekend. Cheers to the weekend, man. It's been a great week. It has really been a great week. It's flying by. It's going by so fast. I feel like I blink and a week go by. I'm like, wow, okay. Time for the podcast. All right. So yeah. So welcome to the Talks with TJ podcast. I am your host, TJ. If this is your first time here, welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm so grateful to have you here. I'm glad that whatever compelled you to click on this and listen. I'm glad that you took that opportunity to do it. And I hope and pray that you find some type of value, like even if it's just one thing, that you find a value or that resonates with you. I hope that um, it really speaks to you and you can apply it to one area in your life or multiple areas in your life and it really makes a difference. That is my prayer. Um so yeah, welcome. But if you're here again, if you're coming back listening to this country twang again, welcome back, fam. Lord have mercy. Glad to have y'all here. And I want the same thing for you. I hope you are keeping finding something that resonate with you every time you come back. Um and for you first timers, and like if you find something that resonates with you here, go back and listen to the other ones if you haven't already. Um, because of course, yeah, I want you to find something every time we speak, that resonates with you. One little thing can make the difference. You never know. So we're gonna rock and roll right into it. Lord have mercy, we've been doing this about I don't know about 2.5 months now. Your girl can't never keep up with no episodes. So, I let that notion go. I just let it go. But we've been rocking and rolling about 2.5 months. Um, yeah, I mean, God, this is exciting. So last week we was talking about living no, running your own race, running my own race. Lord have mercy. I can't keep see now I can't even keep up with the titles of the damn the show. This week we're gonna talk about just starting somewhere. For the love of God, just start somewhere. My mentor used to tell me that, Girl, TJ, if you don't just start some damn where, just do it. Just do it. Stop playing games and just do it. Yeah. So just start somewhere. That is the title of this episode. So I guess the best example that I can give you, the most recent example I can give you of my own personal experience of just starting with this podcast. I think, Lord have mercy, maybe in the first or no, yeah, first or second full episode, I talked about how long it took me to start this podcast, like literally about 5 years. This has been weighing on me for 5 years before I got the courage up to do this. Um, yeah, it's crazy to think about now that I'm in it. And I'm only been in it for, like I said, about 2.5 months. It's like I feel like I've been doing it for my whole life now. But I made every excuse under the book why I couldn't start. My main reason was fear. But when I really thought about that, when I was breaking down this episode, really thinking about what I wanted to dive into, I really dived into that fear of mine. What was I really fearing? And what came to me was, Lord, and I had another revelation. I said, Lord, I'm a little bit of a perfectionist because I wanted everything to be in line first before I got started. That was my excuse. I wanted to have a certain social media presence. I wanted to have a certain amount of followers, which everybody, if you've heard any of my episodes, like, don't even be on social media like that. I don't have a big social media presence. I've never been a big social media person. So for me to be thinking that that's what I need is like, that was like just ridiculous all up in itself because that ain't even how I operate. So I was like, so already, like I was just making freaking excuses not to get started to prolong what needed to happen. What God wanted to happen was me to start this podcast. So yeah, and I thought I had to have a certain amount of money, certain equipment that I needed to have. Um, what else? yeah, like I said, I don't know how to operate. So, I don't have a big social media presence, so I don't know how to operate social media like that. Don't judge me too bad out there. I know if it's some young folks listening, yeah, yeah, I'm bad. But I'm getting better. I'm getting better. It's a learning curve. Um, so that fear stopped me because I'm like, I don't have all my ducks in a row to start this. So how can I start this? Because hell, like I don't have the social media presence. I don't have the followers. How am I going to advertise this to get people to listen to this? How am I going to get my name out there? How am I going to get my brand out there if I don't have the followers? So I thought I needed all of that in place. I really, really did. I really convinced myself that that's what I needed to get started. And with that, like I said, came the fear. That fear just encompassed me. It just took a hold of me, and it stopped me in my place. 5 years it stopped me because I thought that's what I needed. And then on top of the fact that, my own personal mm, self doubts about myself, like I said recently, I'm an introverted person. I'm really to myself, which probably if you any of my close friends or family probably like that girl ain't no damn introvert. She don't shut up. uh, yeah, I'm really an introverted person. So this was starting a podcast when I'm talking. I'm like talking. Got to be out of your mind, God. Real? No, that ain't for me. That ain't for me. And that's another thing that played into it. Like, and that was a fear on top of fear. Like it just compiled on top of each other. And I'm like I said, freaking years, 5 freaking years went by before I was really compelled, and where I had that like I discussed it in one of my episodes, that moment of clarity that what really woke me up was like I don't have time to keep wasting. And I'm like, I'm just gonna do it to do it. You know, Fear stopped me. Like I said, I thought I needed everything. I thought, everything had to be in line. It had to be perfect. I realized that I'm a somewhat of a perfectionist, and that can be a double edged sword. A double edged sword. You do not have to have it all in line to get started. That's it. That's one of the biggest lessons I learned with this. You just got to start somewhere, and things will unfold as you get going. Like what I know now, 2.5 months into it, I would never would have known if I never got started. And the stuff that I know now, I thought that I needed to know just to get started, but I realized, hell, I didn't need to know nothing to get started. I just needed to just start moving. Just start moving and doing something, moving and grooving. you know? Yeah, yeah. So it kind of reminds me of a quote I heard on social media this past week. And I'm going to paraphrase because I don't know it by heart, and I don't want to misquote him, but he was saying that um when you start something new, you're going to look stupid. And I was like, "Ooh, okay, where he going with this? You're going to look stupid." And he kind of broke it down, giving metaphors. When you go to the gym, you don't know how to use the equipment. If you've never been before, you don't know how to use the equipment. You don't know the right form. You don't know what workouts for what. You don't know workout regimen would be good for your body and what isn't. You don't know nothing when you first start, you know? So you're gonna be in there looking stupid, basically. You're gonna be in there looking stupid. And he was like, "That's okay. That is okay to look stupid because you shouldn't expect yourself to know everything with something about something that you've never done before. Like it doesn't make sense for you to think that you need to have all your ducks in a row to know every little detail, everything from A to Z of how you need to structure it when you've never done this before." I'm like, "Ooh, this really, really talking to me." I'm like, "Thank you, God, because wow, with this episode coming up, um, I can really that really resonated with me because that was the same thing that I was going through when I was going through my process of starting this podcast. The same thing, the fear, like that was part of the fear of looking stupid because I didn't know. I didn't know. You know? And I didn't wanna put myself out there without knowing, at the fear of ridicule or backlash, uh, things not looking the way that I wanted them to look because I am a perfectionist, you know? And it kinda reminds me of another statement too that just popped in my mind. I actually forgot about this. I heard about it um, maybe about 2 months ago at this point, probably when I first started the damn podcast. It was talking about, if you wait to start something, no, let me start it over because 'cause I'm saying it wrong. It said that if, mm, the first time you put out something new and it looks perfect, you waited too late. And, like, when I say that thing, like, I really had to dive deep into that, like, I really like, I think it was about maybe about 5 minutes he was talking about it because I was like, "What the hell he talking about? It's supposed to look perfect." You know, I was just still in that like, "It's supposed to look perfect when you put it out. What the hell he talking about?" He was like, "No, like, you waited too late because that," I guess it kinda touches on what I was talking about earlier where I wanted all my ducks in a row before I got started. Um And for people like me or someone else that not necessarily that you don't have the means to, but, um, if you don't have the means, like the financial means or, um, something else along that lines to get started, and you're waiting to accumulate all these things, it could take a while to accumulate all this stuff depending on your financial situation to get started in what you wanna do. So he was like, "If you wait to for it to look perfect to get started, you waited too late." He was talking about just starting where you are and being okay with starting where you are, you know? If your first product looks a hot ass mess, you're doing good. You're okay. You're doing good because you're starting where you are, and that's okay, and people recognize that, and then you can really see the growth from where you started to maybe, 6 months from now, a year from now, like, I even did an experiment after I heard that. I went back on some of my favorite people on social media that I follow. And I went back and looked at some of their early work, and my friend challenged me to do this too, because I had told her about this quote that I heard, and she was like, "That's true." You know, she really agreed with it. She was like, so, and she challenged me to go look back at some of the people that you like, some of their older stuff when they first got started. And I'm not gonna name any names of so the people that I went back and looked at. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do that and see. I was like, oh my God. Like some of these people I had been following since they got started. And I didn't even realize like the level of growth that they had come through because it was just so natural, just like, "Oh, okay." I didn't even care about when they first got started, how bad it looked. Because when comparing comparing contrast, looking back, I said, "Ooh, this was bad," but I didn't care because it was good. They was giving out a good message, you know? They made me laugh or they said something that or they did something that really resonated with me on a consistent basis, so I followed their stuff, and I didn't care about the quality of the product because the message, the way it made me feel was good. So whatever package it came in, looks wise, it didn't matter to me because I was rocking with them anyway. That resonated with me. I'm like, God, Lee, he is right. She is right. You know, you just gotta start wherever you are and be okay with it because that's part of your journey. And as I'm saying this, I'm saying this to myself too. You know, because I mean, like I've told you before, I don't want nobody to get the misconception that I have arrived, that I have learned it all and I'm okay. No, I'm still learning every day. I'm still on this journey. My journey will not end until I'm up in glory, I guess. And then that's another journey within itself. But my journey don't end until I'm up in glory, you know? So I'm still learning, but I have to learn to be okay with where I am in on the journey, you know? Where I am. I have to be okay with starting off not exactly where I want to start off at, just start somewhere and be happy with it, you know? That's part of excuse me, that is part of the lesson. That's a lesson within itself. Um, it's part of the lesson, like I said, but it's a lesson within itself, being okay with the journey because, um, it brings me back to something else that I've said before, like, God will not bless you with a lot if you're not grateful for the little, you know? And, I'm kinda you can kinda apply it to this situation or your situation, like, you gotta be grateful for where you are now in the process before he brings you to the next level of the process. You gotta be like, "Okay, I'm not where I wanna be right now, but I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna keep doing it and learning as I go and growing as I go, and eventually, before I know it, I'm gonna open my eyes and I'm gonna be like, 'Oh my god, look how far I've come. Look how much I've grown. Look how much the quality of my work, uh, has improved. Look how much, um, hints, kinda, my followers have improved. My reach has improved. My message has gotten out there. All the things that I thought that I needed to start, things that I needed to start are coming to me as I gotten started. So I never needed those things to start. I just needed to start. So, wow. I mean, and I'm telling you, like it. I mean, it's a huge lesson. It was a huge lesson for me to learn. And I'm still learning, still diving into it, learning more and more and more. I've really had to humble myself a lot with that because I want to be so much farther than I am right now. And like I said, I have to tell myself that I got to be okay with where I am right now because I'm going to get there eventually where I want to go, and you're going to get there eventually where you want to go. But enjoy where you are now. Learn what you need to learn now at this step, so you can propel to the next step, and so forth and so forth and so forth. Yeah. So that's all I got to say today. I can go on and on and on and on and on about this, but that's all I got to say today. I hope that you found something that resonated with you that you can really take with you and apply to your life. Just learning from my situation. Um, I just really hope and pray that it works out for you guys. So anyway, I'm gonna get off of here. I hope that you guys have a great, great, great weekend. I will see you guys back next week on Friday, every Friday at 8 a.m. Eastern Standard. Peace out.